Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today's topic will be 10 simple ways to deal with alcohol cravings. Now this is really for people that are fighting to keep sober minute by minute, hour, week, day, whatever. These are also for people that want to possibly look for the sober life. This will help prevent a relapse, a stressor, a trigger. 10 ways to help you with your alcohol cravings. As always, I want us to give a shout out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. He can reach at 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez will help you from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand, day by day. He will never, ever look at your past, talk about your past, because he wants you to worry about today and deal with today and tomorrow, to deal with how to live sober, how to avoid some of these cravings, how to battle these cravings. This is Dr. Luis Gonzalez's mission, is to help you take your life back. He also can teach you how to become an addiction recovery coach like I am, like he is. If you have passion, personality, and professionalism, and you have an addiction background, whether it's battling your own or maybe helping a loved one, call him at 844-414-8444. Go to his website, www.startingpointmn.com. The MN stands for Minnesota. Reach out to him and tell him that you heard about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Give a shout out to globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. They have frames that start at $6, go up to about $69. Now listen carefully here. These frames include a case, a cloth, plastic single vision clear, non-coated lenses. Now, if you need progressives, they have them. If you want transitions or photochromatics, they have them. If you want, let's say, tinted lenses, they have them. They can make your lenses from thicker to thinner. They can give you night driving glasses, which is called anti-reflecting coating. They can also help you with UV, polarized. They have all that available at globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. Now here's the great thing. You can actually utilize myself because I have over 30 years optometry experience. So while you're watching the show and you want to order glasses, like so many of you have done already by texting me at 631-599-0218, I will help pick the right frame for you, the right lenses for you, the right thickness for you. That all will come from me, free of charge for you, to go to globaleyeglasses.com. Reach out to me. I will walk you through it. You can reach out to me at 631-599-0218. 10 simple ways to deal with alcohol cravings. This comes directly from the Betty Ford website. For many of us struggling with alcohol dependency, quitting drinking is not easy as just putting down the drink. During the first few days, weeks, often even months of sobriety, the alcohol cravings may be truly predominant and often very difficult to deal with. Frequently, we do not have any line of defense when the cravings do hit, and we end up taking that drink or relapsing. However, you can learn how to break the destructive cycle of utilizing some new coping skills. I found this very interesting coming from the Betty Ford Clinic. A report in the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Research indicates that many of the symptoms of cravings in the dependent individual are similar to the broad patterns and behaviors of persons with obsessive compulsive disorder, including recurrent and persistent thoughts about alcohol and the inability of the individual to resist these thoughts, and to compulsive drive to consume alcohol and the loss of control of their drive. Wow, that sure does explain things, and when we go to this list, you'll see why. Craving alcohol can occur without any withdrawal symptoms, especially if strong reminders encourage the memory of the pleasurable effects of drinking alcohol has. This is part of the disease. Our body and mind will only remember the good times, always forget the bad times. That's why it's important that we do remember the bad times when we have those cravings. We often totally fail to remember any of the destructive parts of our drinking from the past. It is not unusual for a person with addiction to alcohol to completely forget how horrible they felt and the last time they drank, and what terrible situation they found themselves after drinking. This is why when I saw this on the Betty Ford Clinic, I said, wow, 10 of these, probably all of us in sobriety face one time or another. Number 1 on my list is physically remove yourself from the situation. If you're in a situation where you feel that there might be some sort of alcohol being served and you might be to have those cravings, physically remove yourself from that situation. This may only include going to the bathroom or into any other room. Just get away from the situation at hand. Number 2 on my list is call someone immediately. This can be anyone, and it doesn't necessarily have to be talking about alcohol cravings or anything. Just talk about anything completely different to get your mind off the craving of alcohol. Number 3 is break the time down to little portions. I say this all the time. Break it down to shoot for the next minute of sobriety. And when you make that minute, you are sober for another minute. Shoot for another 5 minutes, maybe an hour, a day, a week, etc. Don't think about, okay, well, 2 weeks from now I'll be sober for 2 weeks, because it won't work that way. Live for the moment, think for the moment, stay sober for the moment. As time comes, think sober for the next moment, etc., etc. You see the pattern. Number 4, breathe. Relax your thoughts by taking deep breaths. Focus on your breathing only. Think about that. Get your mind off the alcohol craving and just keep breathing. Deep breaths. You ever get nervous when you're, let's say, in school when you had to take a test, or you had to go pay a ticket at court, and you sit there in the anticipation waiting for that judge to come in front of you, or you go in front of the judge, and you breathe. That's the same technique you want to use. Just breathe and think about something else. Number 5, eat something sweet, because alcohol contains lots of sugar. Lack of sugar can often lead to craving. So to make up for the sugar you're not getting from the alcohol, eat some candy, maybe suck on a mint, eat some chocolate, a nice Hershey bar or something. Number 6, eat a meal. Sometimes cravings may be confused with hunger, because your stomach is growling. You said, well, maybe I need to have a beer or a couple beers or some whiskey or whatever. Eat something. Eat a solid meal. Fill yourself up. The cravings hopefully will go away. Number 7, focus on other things. Redirect your attention to TV, to reading, to listening to music, to taking a walk, or even painting. Focus on anything but the alcohol craving. Number 8, repeat a positive affirmation. I can do this. This too shall pass, is what you need to say. When you think about the alcohol cravings, just get your mind off of it. Number 9, make a pros and cons list of drinking now. What happens if you drink now? What are the consequences for your actions drinking now? And if you have those consequences written down, compared to what good will come out of it, which probably nothing except for you thinking that high, you'll see that the consequences outweigh, and that's when you have to say, I don't want to drink. Number 10, force yourself to remember your last drink. How you felt with your last drink. How you acted. How you hurt other people. Concentrate, remember that. Dealing with cravings are hard, but most important part to remember about cravings is that they are only temporary, like anything else in life. Think about other things, do other things. We'll go over the 10 top craving ways to deal with cravings again, but it is so important that you stick and concentrate on these 10 because even people like myself, I've been sober for quite some time now, we still, here and there, will have cravings. Like anything else in life, you will. And remember what the Betty Ford Clinic said. It said a report of Journal of Clinical and Experimental Research indicates that many of the symptoms of cravings in dependent individuals are similar to the thought patterns and behaviors of persons with obsessive compulsive disorder, including recurrent and persistent thoughts about alcohol and the ability of the individual to resist these thoughts and the compulsive drive to consume alcohol and loss of control over the drive. Remember that. Wow, that really does explain a lot of this. And let's go over this one more time. 10 simple ways to deal with alcohol cravings. Everybody probably still has them. I don't care. There are people 20 years sober to people 20 minutes sober. You'll still have cravings. These are ways to deal with them. Remove yourself physically from the situation. Go into another room, go outside, but remove yourself from the situation. If you start feeling the craving because other people are drinking, remove yourself. Call someone immediately. This can be anyone, and you don't necessarily have to talk about your cravings. Talk about anything else, but call someone. Get your mind off the cravings. Number 3, break the time down into little portions. Stay sober for 1 minute, 5 minutes, an hour, a day, a week, a month. Break it into portions. Set your goals to something realistic. Don't start today becoming sober and setting a goal for 20 years from now, because guess what? 20 years is a long time. Set your goal for 5 minutes from now and work your way up. Number 4 is breathe. Relax your thoughts. Take deep breaths. Think about your breathing. Get your mind off that and take the deep breaths. Number 5 is eat something sweet. Alcohol has tons of sugar in it. So when you start getting those cravings, it's because the sugar from the alcohol is not getting into your body. So substitute it with a Hershey bar, a peppermint, whatever desires you might have for something sweet, substitute that. Number 6 is eat a meal. Sometimes cravings can be confused with hunger. I know that's what that's like. You start getting the stomach growling. I remember in my drinking days, I always felt like I was hungry. The minute I had my shots of vodka and washed it down with my Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, all that would go away, and I would not eat for sometimes hours, days, but just keep drinking. Number 7, focus on other things. Redirect your attention to watching TV, to reading a book, to watching a movie, to listening to music, to taking walks. Redirect your vision, your thinking to something other than alcohol, drug cravings. Get away from that tunnel vision where you're just concentrating on that bottle over there. Think about other things. Number 8, repeat a positive affirmation. I can do this. This too shall pass. I will get over this. I need to be strong. These are positive things to think about. Number 9, make a pros and cons list. Remember, look at how many cons you have compared to pros. I'd like to know how many people have a pro list for alcohol consumption. What good comes out of alcohol? I'll tell you, there's many, many, many things that come bad out of alcohol. So do that pros and cons list. And number 10 is force yourself to remember the last drink you had. Remember that one? What did you do? How did you feel? Who did you hurt? How did you act? Dealing with cravings are hard. But most important part of remembering about cravings is they are only temporary. Craving alcohol can happen without any withdrawal symptoms, especially if strong reminders encourage the memory of pleasurable effects of alcohol drinking. This is the part of the disease. Our body and mind will only remember the good times. It is not unusual for a person with addiction to alcohol to completely forget about the bad times, to completely forget about the people they hurt, the people how they acted, and the people that they talked to in a negative way. For many of us struggling with alcohol dependency, quitting drinking is not as easy as just putting down the drink. It's a battle. It's a war. During the first days, weeks, and often months of sobriety, the alcohol cravings may be truly predominant and often very difficult to deal with. Frequently, we do not have any line of defense when the cravings hit, and we end up taking that drink and relapsing. However, you can learn how to break the destructive cycle by utilizing these 10 steps. Remove yourself from the situation, call someone immediately, break the time down into little portions, minutes, hours, days. Breathe and relax, take deep breaths, eat something sweet to substitute for all the sugar that's in the alcohol. Eat a meal, because a lot of times your craving for alcohol is a sign of hunger. Focus on other things. Redirect your attention to reading, TV, music, painting, walking around. Repeat a positive affirmation. This too will pass. I can do this. I can stay sober for the next 5 minutes. Make a pros and cons list. Tell me how many pros are going to be on that list for drinking alcohol compared to the cons. Force yourself to remember the last drink you had. Who did you hurt? How did you act? How did you talk? These are all reminders. These are 10 things to help you with your cravings, folks. Dealing with cravings is hard enough, but most importantly that you need to remember is that all cravings too shall pass. They're only temporary. Now, if you're not sober yet and you seek the life of sobriety, and you have these cravings, even when you seek the life of sobriety, you need to utilize the craving list. You need to utilize the action plan for the cravings. Every situation in life requires a plan to counteract the situation. If you're in a room and people are drinking alcohol and you find yourself to have that craving, you need to remove yourself from that room immediately. If you find yourself around people that are doing lots of drinking and acting foolishly and drunk, call someone and talk about anything. It doesn't have to be about drinking. Don't set your goals to be 20 years from now of sobriety, 10 years from now. Set them for a minute from now, 5 minutes from now, 20 minutes from now. Find yourself in a situation of stressfulness because of alcohol cravings. Breathe, relax, take some deep breaths. If you find yourself in a situation where you a core desire to drink alcohol because probably you're missing the sweetness, the sugar that's in the alcohol, substitute it with candy, mints, whatever it might take. Substitute the sugar in something else with the sugar and alcohol. If you find yourself hungry and you think that by drinking the alcohol, that is a confusing part because you really truly are hungry and you need to have a fortified solid meal. Focus on other things. Redirect your attention when you start getting those cravings. Take a walk. Watch TV. Listen to the radio. Do a painting. Repeat a positive affirmation if you find yourself in a situation, saying that this is a temporary thing. This too shall pass. I will get over this. Make that pros and cons list whenever you can, because I can guarantee you there'll be a lot more cons than pros for drinking alcohol. And then last, force yourself to remember the last drink. Take yourself back to whenever it was, whether it was a day ago or a year ago. Who did you hurt? How did you act? What did you say that was probably so ridiculous? And always remember that each and every craving, whether it's alcohol, food, whatever else, they are temporary and you can overcome them. Remember the words, this shall pass. This too shall pass. Be strong, be tunnel vision minded to go full steam ahead with sobriety, because the rewards of sobriety are so much stronger than the negatives of alcohol. You will have a whole new life with sobriety once you decide to stay that way. You might be watching me and you are sober for quite some time. Congratulations. But no matter how long you've been sober, cravings will sneak from behind you. You might be watching me, want to be sober. Well, folks, if you want to be sober, you need to start by first admitting you have a problem, because all of us that have a disease called alcoholism or drug abuse have a problem, and we need to admit we have that problem, because the more you deny it, the longer it's going to take for you to deal with it. Reach for your higher power. Let your higher power work with you daily. And you will see eventually, as you're sober for 5 minutes, for an hour, a day, a week, a year, that things will start changing your life. Your skin will become fresher looking. You'll be like a blossom, a flower. Your mental Stability is better because now you can remember what you did last night, what you did last week. Your financial situation is better because you're not wasting your money on alcohol and drugs. Your spiritual situation is better because you now have a thing called hope. You're hoping for your higher power. Your relationship situation is better because your husband, your wife, your mother, your father are seeing the changes in you and are proud of you. All this will all come together when you start with sobriety and continue with sobriety and eliminate the cravings, deal with the cravings like I told you here. All this will start working in your favor. But it all starts with you. It all starts today. Today is the day where you have to, want to, take your life back. Don't let the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction suck you into the patterns of the daily drinking and the daily drugging, suck you into possibly overdosing or possibly killing someone else or killing yourself because you were driving drunk or high. Let today be the first day of your new life. Let today be that first day. And you have to remember, because if you stay sober today, I guarantee you'll have a better tomorrow. It automatically will happen. Then if you go by that analogy each and every day, stay sober one day, have a better next day. Stay sober one day, have a better next day. You'll be amazed. A year, 2, 3 will just come by. Come by with you remembering what you did last night. With you remembering how you're not hurting people. Remembering how you're starting to remember things so much better. It all starts today. Reap the rewards of sobriety. Eliminate the cravings. Deal with your cravings. Everybody has cravings, whether it's alcohol, drugs. Everybody has a craving of some sort. Food, some people sexual. But you shall overcome all cravings with counteractions, with an action plan to take care of those cravings. Not all cravings are bad. But a craving is a craving, and a craving needs to be counteracted with a constructive method of battling that craving. Having alcohol and drug cravings is probably one of the worst. So you cannot you cannot let them, the drug and alcohol, overcome and overtake your life anymore. Take your life back today. If you start thinking positive, I guarantee you positive things will happen in your life. And you will see positive results in your life. And please teach your children, your grandchildren, to say no to drugs and alcohol daily. Lead by example. Show your children, your grandchildren, that you truly are their hero. That you can and will always be that role model that will not drink in front of your grandchildren, your children, not smoke, not use profanity or physically abuse anyone in front of them. You shouldn't physically abuse anyone anyway. But if you need to drink, smoke, and use that profanity, do it away from them. Help them from the age of 0 to the age of 18, to mold them into that human that when they go out into society can handle all the stress that they're going to face, because the world is tough, folks. Teach them that you can handle stress without smoking. You can handle stress without alcohol. You can go through life with a clean vocabulary, and you have to go through life without ever hurting someone physically. Teach them, and you'll see that those children will be productive members of society. Folks, I hope to God that you remember that any change in life, any big changes in life, all start with small steps. Take the small steps, get the big rewards. That I promise you. Stay sober today, you'll have a better tomorrow. Think positive today, you'll have better results and positive results tomorrow. I hope to God each and every one in my audience has a great day. I hope to God you all have a sober day, and may God bless you.